Husband let friend stay at our place. Hey, so I'm struggling right this minute and don't have anyone available to be a sounding board. I think I might be going insane. Last night my F45, husband M47, told me his friend from football has been kicked out by his partner and is coming to stay at our house. I have never met this man. My husband has known him for maybe a year, plays football with him 1 to 2 times a week. I have 3 young children, including a 7-year-old daughter, so I said that I didn't want him staying at our place. My husband went ahead and let him anyway, so this man has been on our couch now all night and is still on it now. We don't have a massive house, so it's our only living space. My husband doesn't think this is a problem and I'm overreacting. I was worried all night that this guy might sneak upstairs to my daughter's room, so I stayed with her last night. I just feel like this is the final straw with my husband. He isn't a very nice guy to me or the kids, but will bend over backwards to help almost strangers. I feel like packing our stuff and leaving, but I don't know if I'm overreacting. Edit, this guy is what I'd call an acquaintance of my husband. He has on and off played touch football all with him every week, sometimes twice a week in summer. But this guy also seems to go AWOL for weeks at a time and won't be seen at football. They've never gone out socially together, never had a beer at the pub, etc. Next story. I F30 and my husband, M32, have been married for almost 2 years now. We got married 6 months after dating. We have a 7-month-old and a small family business which my husband started, but ran it to the ground after a few years due to his negligence, partying, arrogance. My husband comes from a very spoilt upbringing. According to him, everything was done for him, and he never did anything in his life. During my pregnancy, and after having the baby, I realized that his slack and laziness got worse. I believe he has undiagnosed ADHD, which he refused to get help for. Nowadays, he is very much interested in making YouTube videos. This has been going on for some time where he is always hooked on his phone. The last time he started doing that, he was watching porn several times a day and lied about it to be when he got caught. He will sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 5 a.m. to be on his phone, scrolling on every social media possible, which now leaves me alone with the following chores. Full-time parents to a 7-month-old. Full-time house help. Dog mom. Running the business full-time. Handling groceries. Handling finances. I have asked this man that I can take care of most of those things, and all I want in return is some of his affection and sex. He keeps saying I want to make money, and this is the only way nowadays. I know for a fact that just like his other interests, this one is gonna die off as well. To be honest now, I have given up on even asking. I try to communicate every day, and he just argues back on how he is so right and I need help. I am going for my first therapy session on Tuesday, and it's honestly for myself and my daughter, because I am so done with this man. Next story. It was our 9th wedding anniversary yesterday. My husband admitted that he didn't want to get married. He said that he was fine with us just living together, indefinitely, but didn't want to get married. I asked him why he went through with marrying me, and he said, I wanted you to live with me, and I knew that you wouldn't unless we were married. We are now separated 2 weeks, and I've been doing a lot of reflecting on how things started between us. I feel like I've been deceived for the last 11 years. When my husband and I started dating, I was upfront about the fact that I wouldn't live with a man unless I was married. I had my own place, and I didn't see the point of uprooting my life for someone if they couldn't fully commit to me. He actually asked me if I would ever get married again on our second date, and I said yes because I believe in marriage. He didn't say he would never get married again, but said that it was not something he was actively looking for. I guess we both should have walked away then, because that was a clear indication of us not being aligned in values. I take accountability for that. I put myself here, and 9 years later, what I thought was supposed to be a union of 2 people sharing life's joys and hardships together was actually just a practical solution to a problem. I was never his dream girl. This admission has cleared up so much for me. He entered the marriage nonchalantly, not with the excitement of having met the love of your life. He wanted the benefit of having me around without the work of keeping me. It explains why asking him to show up as a husband has been an uphill battle. It explains why he changed so dramatically after the wedding. He literally turned into the laziest detached partner. Taking me out to dinner became a chore. We would go to a restaurant, he'd eat his food without any conversation, and it would always be the same restaurant. He began limiting sex to once a week, the same day every week, and if I tried to initiate, he'd ignore me or let me know immediately when he came home from work. He was tired. When I would jokingly point out that we longer made out, he would stare at me blankly. I would even send him sexy pics while he was at work. He asked me to stop because he didn't want anyone to see them accidentally. He would no longer keep me company while I cooked dinner. He just came home, waited on the couch while I finished up. We had a Sunday morning routine of cleaning the house together. That stopped. I moved in 2 months before the wedding. He expected me to clean on my day off without him. He actually got angry at me one time for cleaning while he was at home. He said he just wanted to relax. I didn't ask him to clean as well, but I like a clean home, and I do it when it's convenient for me, not him. Even something as simple as taking a picture together has fallen to the wayside. He gets annoyed, but this is the same man that, when we were dating, he hired a photographer while we were on vacation to do a photo shoot on the beach. Literally every single thing we used to do together became a task too big. I now realize why anything I ask for was so difficult for him. I hope he feels relieved of this burden he's been carrying. Next story. Wife has a secret drug habit. We've been married for 18 years and have 3 children under 13 years old. Over the years, I've suspected my wife has had a small drug habit which I ignored. It seemed under control, and assumed C was probably dealing to others to pay for it since no joint money was unaccounted for from our accounts. Over the last 2 years, her habit has become more of an issue, and it seems to be no longer under control. For context, I had a cocaine addiction between the ages of 16 and 22 years old. I see the same behavior and characteristics in her as I had during that time. The biggest issue is her behavior around the kids, constantly screaming and also swearing at them. She used to be the calmest and sweetest person you could meet. Now she is a pale version of herself, and I am concerned about her health, mental state, and the impact on the kids. And she hasn't been for an annual physical for over 5 years, hasn't seen a dentist in that time either. She is bloated, has extreme water retention, sleeping 4 hours a night max, is cold to the touch. Her tissues have blood in them constantly. Her behavior is secretive, has no friends, no conversation. She is locked in her own world. I've tried to broach the subject with her, and I just get screamed at and accused of being insane for even thinking this. But as a former addict and someone previously involved in not-so-kosher things to fund my addiction, I am worried about what she is doing to herself and how she is funding this. For context, we are a comfortable middle-class family in South Florida. Any guidance or feedback is welcomed. I've been living this nightmare for 2.5 years. I've either got a massive mental health issue with paranoid delusions, or she is on a ride that I do not know where it is taking my family. Next story. My husband and I haven't had sex in over 6 years, and for 4 of those years, I blamed myself. After having kids, I gained 100 pounds and have been yo-yo dieting ever since. He constantly tells me that it's not me but offers no other explanation. 2 years ago, he finally admits to me that he might have ED. I ask him to go to the doctor, which he had never done in the time we had been married, to get help, which he didn't. He ordered some meds online from Hims, which ultimately didn't work. Then, about a year ago, I suspected that he was drinking more than I knew about, starting counting the number of beers in the fridge, and found out that he was drinking 12-16 beers a day, as well as during his lunch while working from home and in the morning on the weekends. When I confronted him about it, he lied to me until I showed him that I had proof. He refused to admit that he had a problem and refused to get professional help. After we talked, he started to cut down and eventually got to 3 a day. A few nights I noticed him slurring his words and asked him if he was drinking more than the 3 that I could see gone from the fridge. After lying to me once again, he finally admitted that, yes, he was hiding alcohol from me and drinking it in secret. I lost it. I threatened divorce if he didn't get his life together and basically forced him to go to a doctor to talk about the ED and to just get a basic checkup. He finally went and found out that he had dangerously high blood pressure as well as type 2 diabetes, which he had probably been living with for years and didn't know it. After that, I told him he needed to quit drinking completely or I would leave. And he did. But part of the problem is that I don't believe he did. I still believe he's secretly drinking. I've called him out on it several times and he denies it each time. He's lied to me so many times that my trust in him is gone. Back to the ED. He's been taking meds now to control his BP and diabetes now for about a year. His doctor said that once that's under control, it should help to resolve the ED, which it has not. I asked him to revisit his doctor about the issue, which was like asking him to commit a crime, and he finally did. The doctor gave him a prescription for Viagra over 4 months ago, and he has yet to fill it. Honestly, at this point, I want sex, but I don't want to have sex with him. We are like strangers. The thought of even making out with him is now awkward to me. I tried to cuddle with him when we were alone on a trip together about 18 months ago but got nothing in return, so I've completely stopped trying. We've tried counseling a couple times, but it doesn't seem to help. I recently had weight loss surgery. At first, I started with the idea that maybe my husband would sleep with me if I lost weight, but now I'm doing it for me and my kids. To make a long story short, he keeps telling me that he wants to fix things while I've pretty much checked out. I want to feel that I'm loved, not just told that I'm loved. I want to be touched. I crave intimacy. 6 years is an insane amount of time to go without any sort of physical intimacy from your partner. At this point, I'm not so sure I wouldn't cheat on him if the opportunity presented itself. I probably would have left a while ago, but he is the breadwinner, and I would not be able to survive financially. I'm stuck in a sexless marriage, and I'm so sad and cry about it nearly every day. I don't know where to go from here. Next story. My wife, 30F, and I, 30M, have been married since 2021, and we have known one another since 19YO in church. We are currently separated since the start of Jul 2025. We have loads of mutual friends since we basically spent our young adult life together. We have been through our fair share of ups and downs throughout our relationship, but I have never once thought of ending the relationship with her because I have always been of the mindset that nothing will be bad enough to split up, less cheating of course. So she started a new job in May 2023 and got to know a lot of people with the same wavelength as her, Gen Z lingo, etc., and she enjoys the interactions with them. There was this guy, let's call him Frank, 30M, that she was very close with as well. Frank was married around the same time as us too. My wife's norm is to ask friends out for coffee one to get to know them better, and I never had qualms about that as she would be fully transparent with me and tell me what was spoken. So she did the same to Frank. Fast forward to 2024 Sept, we have had our biggest fights revolving around Frank, and there was one day she asked me, can I still go for coffee with him? I was at a loss for words and told her she can make her own decisions, but I warned her that once I decide to end things with her, there is no coming back from that. She went ahead anyway. In Oct 2024, I decided to end things with my wife because I was neglected emotionally for the past year while she was having the time of her life at her workplace. That was when she asked for a second chance and told me that she would reduce communication with him. I trusted her to do so and decided to try again. In March 2025, we were on a holiday and she basically told me that Frank's wife found out that they were sharing locations and went batshit at home. Frank is ending the friendship with my wife, and it was as though I was watching her go through a breakup. She started therapy in April 2025 to process the loss of the friendship. He held her hand once and also confessed his feelings for her in Oct 2024. I decided to call it quits with my wife and moved out in Jul 2025. I met someone new shortly after. I was not actively looking, and we recently started dating in Oct 2025. Right now, my wife is telling everyone that I only gave our marriage a shot for 6 months and decided to throw in the towel after being together for 10 years. Many of our mutual friends that have seen us grow up together have voiced their opinions that I should not be dating while separated, even legally. And I have been painted as the one that gave up on our marriage and the one with zero morals in many of our friends' eyes, even after I have stayed on for 2 years to fight for our marriage, and constantly voiced my discomfort to my wife, only for my concerns to fall on deaf ears. Am I wrong for not wanting to continue with this marriage anymore? Edit. There was a lot more details that transpired from May 2023 to May 2025 that led me to feel emotionally neglected, but it'll be too lengthy if I included everything. Next story. Husband and I have 3 kids, 2 of whom are twins. Today is Halloween and the day after tomorrow their 10th birthday. Husband texts me a couple minutes ago that his former stepfather, his mom, has been dead for a decade, and this man's sisters are in town. This the first I hear of it, and he wants to hang out with them. Granted, this is the busiest weekend of the year for us as parents, given it's both Halloween and the twins' B-Day. There's a pattern as well. Last year on their birthday, my husband allowed his stoner brother, who is a weed addict, and his girlfriend to crash at our home on the twins' B-Day because they were in town for a show and needed to crash. Mind you, his brother didn't bring them a B-Day gift or attend any B-Day celebrations, just needed to crash for the show. Ended up making the night about them instead of my kids. Then this year on Mother's Day, my husband left town altogether because one of his male buddies threw himself a 40th birthday party at a campground 2 hours away. So my husband had to go, leaving me alone with the kids on Mother's Day weekend. Then 2 weekends ago, on the exact Saturday that my teenage daughter had her only weekend volleyball tournament of the entire season, he had to go to an out-of-town funeral for a college buddy, thereby leaving me with our twins to travel to the tournament and pick up my daughter. He missed his daughter's only VB tournament of the year. Now today is Halloween plus twins B-Day weekend, and he texts me to inform me he needs to fit his rando former stepdad into the weekend. Let me clarify. The guy didn't marry my deceased Mill until after husband was in college. He was never a father figure to my husband whatsoever, and has almost nothing to do with our family at all since his wife died. And he didn't tell us until the day of, which in and of itself shows how clueless and self-centered this guy is. I am fit to be tied. Every damn occasion that we need to show up for either each other or the kids, he makes it about random buddies or relatives. Am I overreacting? I feel he should have told his former stepfather this is not the weekend he can step away without any advance notice and not bothered me with it. He could easily have predicted it would upset me. Next story. I'm 40F, married to my husband 40M for 12 years. Never had sexual relationships before him. He is my first. I always knew I had a very high sexual drive and wanted my husband to be the same. We were exploring and trying out stuff once we got married, but I have never been really satisfied. We've had numerous talks over the years, and each time he listens to my suggestions and we try those, then fall into the same routine. Then I need to initiate sex or need to talk to him all about it again. He likes sex too, but he never makes me orgasm while having sex. It's always foreplay, usually passionate. Sex, he comes first, inside me, then wipes himself while I wait and then fingers me. I used to be okay with that, but now I feel angry and annoyed. Every time we start having sex, I try to forget the outcome and we have a passionate foreplay, and I get so aroused and we start doing it and bam, he is done. I just want to experience orgasm while he is inside me. I want to come using his D and not his finger. Am I expecting too much? Do all women orgasm this way? I do use a vibrator, but I need the human touch and passion. What do other women do when you're not satisfied with your partner? Next story. This is weird, and I honestly don't know what to make of the situation, so posting here for advice. This past weekend, we had a Halloween party with 10-ish friends of ours, mostly couples. Fast forward to the end of the night, my husband, who is mid-30s, is trying give treat bags of ED pills ordered from Hims to his friends. One of the wives is objecting because she's a nurse and saying, "You should not be giving out pills like this. ED meds aren't a joke and can be dangerous for people with heart conditions, etc." Well, I didn't even know my husband had ED pills. He tells me that he ordered them a couple months ago and took one while on a bachelor trip with 8 other guys. It was a bachelor trip to a cabin in a semi-remote location. And that he took it on the trip for fun to see what it would feel like, what the actual fuck. This story literally makes no sense to me. He doesn't have a history of a cheating. We've been married for 5 years. We have sex twice a month and my husband always gets hard. It hasn't been a problem. I just don't buy this story of taking blue chew for fun. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt here, but I just don't understand. What am I missing? Is this strange? What would you do in my shoes?